it requires you to apply yourself fully. You're not just maybe, kicking a ball around or maybe just throwing a ball around. There's so many faculties to being a high level and high performing athlete that spills over to everyday life. So as he said, hard work, critical thinking, communication, problem solving. Those are just some of the things that as an athlete you need to obviously embody. Apart from that, you also obviously need to be present as well, whether you like it or not. That is a life skill. Whether you feel like it, you don't feel like it, each job, as our apostle would say, each job. And I think those are just obviously some of the things you learn from being an athlete. Being present, whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it. That discipline would say, no, I need to get work done. So I think, he summed it up very well, but also just, to add on to that point as well. Yeah.
Powerful. Noah, I have a different question for you. There are moments in sports where performance defines perception, where one bad day can shift how people see you. How do you mentally and emotionally navigate pressure when expectations are high? And how do you separate your performance from your identity?
First things first, actually. I think I want to start here when I answer this. I have been fortunate or unfortunate to have been exposed to a lot of winning from a young age. So I played for a really good team when I was very young, and we won a lot of stuff. And that almost shifts your perspective, and it starts to shape how you see life. And you start to think that life is just one big ball of yeses.
Yeah.
That gets very dangerous, because then from ages 21 to about 23, 24, life really started to say no. And the biggest lesson and my most favorite lesson in that period, I didn't learn as much when we won as much as I did when life started saying no. Because life wasn't saying no just on the sports field. The lesson of no was being taught in my academics. Guys, I'd never failed in my life before. And you get to varsity. You bump into, and this is a module that I'm going, communication research. That's my first ever fail. And that mark came back and you had to go write a sub, and you realize that you're doing it again. Like, I did this already. I shouldn't be doing this. But that's like an example, I guess, of a no that life threw at me. And the way that I have come up to realization when it comes to dealing with such is treating both sides of the coin, or treating both imposters the same. Success and failure is literally the same thing, because the process that follows it stays the same. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning, and when you wake up, the sun's going to shine, sometimes maybe cloud and rain or whatever, but you're going to wake up and it's a new day and the sun's going to shine, and you've got to go do something again. And the wins and the losses, a lot of the time, we do with the wrong reason. So I try and win as much as I possibly can because of the perception that it gives me to people, because of how you're going to view me, because of how Mbuso's going to view me as an athlete, because of how Nati's going to see me as his older brother and fellow cricketer and teammate. Like, it's one of my favorite parts of all time. Like, I can get to play with this clown. But letting the main thing stay the main thing, treating the two imposters the same, success and failure, and most importantly is making sure that you are always doing it for the middle. The middle is God.
Yeah.
If you are not, guys, and this I think I have to say, sorry, I know it's dragging a bit longer. This I have to say, if Christ is at the center of everything, and I mean everything that you do, if Christ is at the center of your decision making, of your success and your failures, I promise you it's not as bad. Failure isn't failure if Christ is involved.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's just it.
that's you've said a mouthful, but as you're just saying, you've mentioned such important things that I feel like we shouldn't just brush off quickly. I think the first one being that Christ must be at the center. There's something that I carry with me. If God is going to take the glory when I win, He should also take the shame when I lose. That takes away every pressure that you have. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes we put ourselves under pressure so much, wanting to win. thinking that, if I don't win, ichai. But when you win, like yonke ntikren, maramo loser, you have to take that burden. You know what I mean? But when you win, you're gonna say, no, God, you can take it. God is also able to take that loss. If truly He's at the center, then there's no need for you to be carrying that load as well. And also what He said, keeping Christ at the center. Your identity, you won't struggle with identity if truly you have your identity in Christ. So whether you win or lose, that's not going to be what identifies you or what defines you as an individual. Your identity remains the same. I'm a child of God with a win or a lose. So dealing with that aspect, the identity yako as an athlete, I'm going to keep it there because that's the main focus here. But as an athlete especially, it's so important because things switch so quickly. Today you could be the star in the locker room. The next day you're the villain because maybe you missed a penalty, in my instance maybe, or you dropped the catch, you know what I mean, as a cricketer, you see. So these things are like very important for you to know. Like as an athlete, maybe also if you're an aspiring athlete as well, you must know these things. Amalanga wafad. But if you have Christ, you maintain a level of consistency in your life. So that's just obviously to add on to what my brother was saying, which I felt like it was a very important point for us to obviously reiterate, not just in sports, but in life in general as well.
Powerful. You just reminded me of a quote that says, quitters never win, but winners never quit.
Yeah.
Failure does not determine your faith.
Yeah.
I want us to go to the section 2. We often speak about faith in public spaces, but I'm more interested in your private walk with God, of course. What does your relationship with God look like when there's no audience, no structure, and no expectations? Just you and Him. You'll start, Muso. You can start.
So, I think how I'll answer this, as you said, it's your private walk. So obviously, as an athlete, a lot of the times, a big part of your life is obviously in the eyes of the people around you. People who support you, people who maybe watch your games, So a big part of your life is in front of people. And obviously, you are able to model a perception that maybe isn't true. Because those people see that side of you. They don't know your personal you. Yeah, so I think that also boils down to your conviction. Because obviously I'm a Christian, so I think that's the direction I'm going to take. So your conviction is going to determine your private life. If you are a true follower of Christ, it won't show by you, lifting your hands up when you score a goal. It will be reflected in how you interact with the individuals in the locker room. It will be reflected with how you interact with a teammate that hasn't performed well. It will be reflected in how you speak to someone who's going through a tough time. Will you be like the other gents, maybe will say, I'm cheating over Korean, or will you be like, no, man, I am called to love as a child of God firstly. Yeah, so I feel like, as it pertains to the private individual, not the athlete, it all starts with the conviction you have. How truly devoted are you to Christ, firstly? That's going to be shown, obviously. I feel like everything else should be an outward expression of what you have in private with Christ. Otherwise, because you know what the crazy thing is, what I've realized actually as well, you will never be able to transform individuals unless you are living that thing as well. So if I model Christ before people, but I don't live for Christ in public, those people will see it, but they won't be transformed. So they are aware. But what I'm doing, it will not transform them at all. They'll remain the same. Apparently. But when what you are doing publicly stems from a private place, it compels other individuals to be transformed because it's coming from a deep place. No, I'm actually living this life. So when you see, obviously I know I'm digressing, but it's obviously just to touch on the part of obviously your private life and the importance of it as well. I think it's very important as you grow as well, as Umchita especially. Like you need to stand for something and you need to believe in it. Don't lie. Don't be fake. You don't really gain much from that. And the sad reality is, and I'm sure that even the gents can attest, in the locker room is a very spiritual place. The locker room uzobona abantu bebakhipha ikhipha banamabhanda a-colorful uzibuze ukuthi kuyenzakalani. So for me, I feel like, yeah, for me, that's why I feel like, your private life, you'll be found out if you're not a devoted Christian. You will be found out. You'll be a casualty in any sphere. You'll be a casualty because these people are devoted to their things. Yeah, and if you are a lukewarm Christian, experiment but you are the playing ground. Yeah, so I feel like for me, with regards to obviously your private life, it obviously stems from obviously conviction, but also understanding the environment you're in, that it's very spiritual as well. Yeah, so if you're not going to be an individual who's truly devoted to the God you claim, you'll be a casualty. Yeah, but so it's those two sides of the coin. Is that firstly, it's the conviction part. I know God, I've experienced Him, I know He's alive, but also I understand that I'm not only amongst Christians. Other people have other beliefs. So if I don't ensure that I'm strong, I don't ensure that I live the life I portray to people, then I'm gonna be found out. Yeah, and then I'm gonna be a casualty. Yeah, so those are the two sides of like what obviously essentially influenced the strength of my own private devotion. Firstly, the desire to live for God, but secondly, also being wise enough to know that I'm not only amongst Christians, and so I have to ensure that my own personal altar is also fortified and strengthened. So I think, I hope I answered your question, but
wow, that's powerful. What I got from what you said
Yeah.
is that your character should introduce you before your name does.
100%.
So, Nati, this one is for you. You are a young man navigating visibility, influence, and opportunity. In those spaces, there are constant distractions, attention, lifestyle, validation. What intentional decisions have you made to remain spiritually grounded, and what has that cost you?
So it's crazy that you asked me that because it's something I touched on at a separate speaking engagement yesterday, and I think, in a way, I think your question, the answer to your question, is entangled with what he just said now.
Sure.
I'm Christian before I am Nati the cricketer. My first title is a child of God. That's the main title. That's the mainstay.
Yeah.
So I think one or two things is, there's a lot that I had to sacrifice. Believe me, there's a lot that you don't do. There's a lot of places you don't go. There's a lot of people you don't see. There's a lot of people you cut off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conversations you don't engage in
Mm-hmm.
because of your faith.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I'm saying. The reason I say it almost intertwines with what he said now is the fact that understanding that there are spaces I can't be in means that I need to have my own understanding of what my creator says about me.
Sure.
So I've said this to many people. I'm against making or creating an image of Christianity as just the fun part of it.
Mm.
The videos we see where people are dancing and
Sure.
jumping, like there isn't sacrifice
Sure.
involved. Like as soon as you say, I accept you as my Lord and Savior, the devil isn't automatically your op. At that point in time. So there's a lot that the reason I think I haven't even listed anything specific is because there's many.
Yeah.
There's many things.
Yeah.
But I can give you a reason that I can give you, and that's probably very intertwined to what he said, which is understanding who you are. And I think I'm very aggressive about my religion.
Sure.
I'm very strong about my religion because I feel like there's people on the side of the field. He spoke about a lot of altars.
Yeah.
There's people on the side of the field who will kiss the ground and say thank you Allah.
Yeah.
There's people at the end of a game or before a game, like
Sure.
so there's a lot that they have,
Yeah.
and you need to have the information to challenge what they bring to you.
Yeah.
You need to be able, and that's big for me, is the fact that Christians, a lot of times we don't know.
Mm.
And you want to sit there and they say God doesn't exist, then you'll sit in your corner and. So I know I'm deviating from the main point. And the reason, like I said, the reason I'm deviating is because there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many nights out I have to stay away from. There's so many rooms I've had to sleep out of.
Yeah.
There's so much I've had to stay out of. That lifestyle that people read on social blogs about, that soccer started this and that, 9 times out of 10 is true, guys.
Yeah.
And to extend the olive branch, the difference between football and cricket and rugby is that the cricketers and the rugby players do the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a little smarter.
Yeah.
But they do the exact same stuff. So that stuff, that 2 weeks ago, there's that footballer who slept with span, it happens. It happens. It happens. So to everything that you've had to stay away from in the world, I've had to stay away from tenfold.
Yeah.
Because someone knows me, because there's a little bit of money in my pocket, because there's this and that. But I think the best I can do for you is to give you a reason why, and that reason why is one, understanding what I'm doing this for.
Yeah.
Because at the end of all of this, I'm gonna stand at Judgment Day, and I'm gonna be in the line with other people who saw me and said, no, but he was Christian, Mos. He was the guy who had that scripture on. He's the guy.
Yeah.
He was that guy. He was the guy with a highlight of church. He was
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you ask me what have you done with all the talents I've given you, then I sit there and I can't answer you because I was busy pretending, like he mentioned, I was pretending to be someone else.
Oh.
So there's a lot I've stayed away from. What you stay away from in the world, multiplied by 10, add change after that.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I-
But understand who you are, understand what your belief system is, and the one thing I can emphasize, this is totally away from the question, but the one thing I'll emphasize is do not be afraid to proclaim your faith.
Yes.
Do not fear your faith, do not fear proclaiming your faith. And I spoke about confidence earlier, it comes from a place of hard work. Your hard work is understanding your faith. Understanding that when someone says, why is there suffering on earth? You can have an explanation to say, listen, you who says God's the reason for the suffering, there's a book that says that, there's this, there's that, there's that. You can't just go around without any information and be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Or you come to church on a Sunday and sit on the information you have, because
Ish.
that's not what you're called to do. So I think I know I haven't directly answered your
Yeah.
question,
Okay.
but I hope
I
I've
get you.
given you background.
Yeah, that's so
Powerful.
powerful. So powerful. I think before I hand over to you guys, like, be aggressive. You see what he's saying? I hear him. You need to be aggressive with your faith.
Sure.
Because if you are passive, you'll start doubting the God you serve. Because everything else will be very loud in your face. These people are not playing, guys. In the locker room, you see what Nazi's saying? Like, this is what you face times 10. Because you're with these guys. Like, for example, when I was trained, like at soccer, we train obviously like the whole week. Monday, Tuesday, maybe sometimes you get off on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday you play. Sunday you off. You see, I'm with these guys all the time. I'm with them all the time. So what they believe can easily rub off on me if I'm not strong. Yeah, but so when he says 10 times, he's not joking. Because maybe outside here, you don't maybe see those people who tempt you all the time. I'm forced to be with them because we are playing together. But there's no utia, no langs tojang. Locker room one, not locker room yabazalwan locker room. One locker room. Yeah, but so being aggressive, I like that so much. Aggressive with your faith.
Can I, like, just to add on to what these astute gentlemen are saying? Here's a question, and
Sure.
I think it's a hypothetical. Here's
Yeah.
a question. Monday, Tuesday, training. Maybe Wednesday, off. Thursday, Friday, training. Game on Saturday.
Sure.
You win on Saturday.
Hey,
What the guys are talking about
hey,
is you don't understand what Saturday night looks like
hey.
for a Christian man in these spaces. Guys, he plays football for Tuks. That's in Pretoria. That's in Hatfield. That's with teammates of a similar age bracket. That's with students and reses and freedom and clubs and Pablo Escobar
Hey.
and drama and all of these places. Zenzu, like, you guys don't understand the need to be aggressive in your faith
You have to be.
on that Saturday night. And that's the toughest part for me is cricket is a little bit different. We go on away tours. Guys, I've got a roommate. For 6 days, we see each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens that I'm in the traveling squad, but I'm not in the playing squad. And the two of us room together. We've got 6 free days, meal allowance, and our salaries. And you've got decisions to make. Nobody's saying there's a checkout time to sleep. Do what you have to do, but 9 o'clock on deck, 8 o'clock in the bus tomorrow morning. That's the part where your faith gets tested the most. And I'm not saying Christian athletes have it worse than anyone else on the planet,
Yeah.
but I'm saying in this point I want to emphasize something we haven't touched on. In Christianity, it gets very dangerous when we start to do things for our own calling and our own purpose and our own serving and our own worldly desires. The first things first, and I think it's going to simplify a lot of the problems that we have as young Christians, is the understanding that we are called to serve.
Yes.
And called to serve is not serving when you're happy, it's not serving when you're sad. You are called to serve while you wait.
Yeah.
While you are waiting for what you are praying for, you have an obligation to serve God's kingdom.
Yeah.
And that means on Saturday night, I'm as much a servant as I am on Monday after being inspired on Sunday at
Sure.
church. That's exact same.
Sure.
And I think that's what will simplify a lot of our decision-making processes, is we don't embrace enough the joyous responsibility to
Yeah.
serve. It's joyous.
It's
Once
joyous.
you embrace it,
Yeah.
it's joyous. A lot of us spend too much time disconnected from that responsibility and connected to our worldly desires, our social spheres,
Sure.
our need to be the footballer
Sure.
that tucks, our need to be the professional athlete. Sometimes we even bring it into the house of God.
Yeah.
Now you've got it like, people need to know what I am.
Hey.
As a legal practitioner, people need to know it gets very dangerous, guys, because then you're not aware that you're walking into the house of God with your selfish desires in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
with your selfish pursuits and purposes. 1, 2, being aggressive. Guys, I haven't always made the right decisions. He can attest to that. You can attest to that. You can attest to that.
Yeah.
I haven't always made the right decisions. But the one thing that I will say is, the same way doom acts as a detergent for ants, I am not just aggressive about my faith, but I've made a choice in the recent past to be loud about it.
Yes.
If I'm on social media, you can go on all my platforms right now. There's been a drastic rebrand that's taken place
Sure.
there. And it's intentional because I'm in a pursuit to seek God.
Sure.
That's the season I'm in. The season is, I know of God, I know who God is. God lives within me, He lives and He breathes within me. But it's time for me now to showcase that to people outside.
Sure.
Bazobona ukuthi kuyaphileka la kaJesu,
Yeah.
alright.
Kugrand.
Kugrand,
Kugrand.
like ipholiwe
Yeah.
inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think we get told that enough.
Yeah.
And that coupled up with what my brother was saying about people being in your face about their faith.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not in your face about their faith. They are in your face to question your faith.
Yes.
Aibo, but brother, you're injured still. Why? Where's God?
Okay. Yeah.
Where is He?
Tough question.
Where is He?
If you are not convinced about that God, you shake same time.
Because we are people and because we had a God who died for us on the cross, it's a God that knew we were going to get it wrong.
Yeah.
You get asked the question on that Saturday at 2 o'clock, how? Ula, who God gave you? The weird thing is tomorrow morning, my God loves me the same way.
Yeah.
And I've got a responsibility to make sure that you understand that.
Sure.
That you're not called to this thing to be perfect. You're called to this thing to continuously serve and seek this man.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. There's so much to say on this. So much to say.
This is so powerful. That was powerful. So, young men today are navigating a world that constantly pulls them in different directions, socially, emotionally, and morally. From your personal experience, what are the most subtle yet dangerous distractions that can slowly pull a man away from his purpose?
Should I take that?
Yeah. sure.
Okay. There's so many things. I think the main thing that can pull a man away from his purpose is firstly not knowing your purpose. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that will pull you away. If you do not know your purpose, you'll be tossed and turned everywhere. So that goes without saying. If I was uthi Grand Sharp when utaleleni yonke into it seems fine. Then secondly, I think is not willing to go through the process of fulfilling your purpose. Because fulfillment of purpose has a process attached to it, which is not always going to be favorable. Yeah, well, there's going to be times where you feel like, no, did you really say that, Smart? Can you really do this? You know, that's all a part of the process. So not being willing to go through that process, I think, is another thing that causes one not to fulfill their purpose. Another thing, probably one of the major ones these days, social media. Yeah, well, you you think the greatness of your purpose is determined by the influence it has on a screen. Yabo. So you think ukuthi if mina into yami lengiyenzayo abantu ababhaya they like it, shuthi purpose yangempela. Not knowing that some of our purposes is you are not even supposed to be seen. You are supposed to serve in silence.
Hidden asset.
Hidden. You are hidden, but you are an influential person.
Sure.
Yeah, but so I think it's also that thing of like, we define purpose as something that individuals need to agree with, or individuals need to affirm. Like affirmation for you is what you think your purpose is. If someone is affirming me in this area, this is my purpose. No, purpose is what God has created you for, which is something you first of all don't create. You don't create your purpose. God creates you with a purpose. Your duty is to find that purpose. Yeah, but so I think as is by size, I'm a cheater sometimes that obviously we don't know our purpose. Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. He shows it to you, then he reaffirms it to you. Yeah, but so as a cheater, we don't know our purpose. Secondly, see, we're not willing to go through a process, a purpose yet. Like it's for shortcuts other times. Thirdly, we I compare so what the next person is doing and what I'm doing. If you feel like it doesn't carry the same weight, you want to do someone else's purpose and you neglect your own. So that's obviously the part of social media. Now you're obviously exposed to maybe individuals that are living in their purpose, and you don't know what they had to go through to get to that point. So I think for me, those are some of the major things that cause us as amachita or athletes or individuals at large to be easily distracted about what it is that we're supposed to do.
Can I just shoot a bit on that one? I think I'm going to be a bit more practical. I don't want to say this too loud, but I want to be a bit more practical. It's a conversation that is very uncomfortable.
Sure.
Yes, I'll go there. 100%. The biggest thing that will deter you from where you're going: lust, procrastination, envy,
Sure.
the love of money being the root of you. There are, and I think the road I've chosen here, we can go, guys.
Yeah.
We can go. I can choose many things, but I don't think there is a single book in the Bible that speaks about previous experiences where there isn't a man's downfall with lust.
Sure.
Lust is the biggest demon to men. It's horrible. And the thing is, most men, I definitely believe about 80 to 90% of us, Christian or not Christian, have struggled with it at some point. And it is the hardest thing to shake off, because it's everywhere. It's in your face. It's on social media. It's in public.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Times it's in church. It's everywhere. Lust and the love of money and procrastination. Now, don't get me wrong. He'll tell you, I'm very big on business. I'm very big on real estate. I'm very big on investing. I am very big on being financially savvy. Guys, if you can sit, I promise you can sit down and have a political podcast with me. You can have a business podcast with me. I promise you, you'll get something. I'm big on that. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you money or trying to instead I'll tell you the opposite. I do believe even in the church there needs to be times where we have business seminars in the church, where we maybe speak to each other in the church, because maybe there's a guy in construction and a guy in electricity. They can come together and do something. I don't think we do enough of that in the church. I don't think we're practical about it in the church. But the love of money and the idolizing of money, that's another thing. Idolizing, gosh, problem. Trying to be a footballer and modeling your life around Messi, who's never in your life. You've never seen Messi live for Christ in any way. And that's not me, obviously. I'm a Messi guy, so. But I think there are practical things involved.
Yeah.
Lust, the love of money,
Yeah.
procrastination,
And envy.
and envy.
Sure.
Guys, procrastination I can't stress enough.
Yeah.
Procrastination is the one that wakes you, not procrastinating, is the one that wakes you up and says you must go run. I actually never told him. There was a time where I was like, I wanted to run on the day, I didn't, and then I drove past Musa running down, And literally at 7 p.m. that night, I ran. Not, and that's another thing that maybe I'm hoping at some point we touch on is brotherhood.
Sure.
Because in a small way, I've seen a lot of people run in the day. The fact that it was him, it's a little, in a way, in a small weird way, it's got a way of accountability to it.
Yeah.
It's got an
Exactly.
essence of accountability. That's another thing. Friends. See why I say we can keep going
Yeah.
down this thing. Friendships, guys, friendships are so important. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
But if you guys are two, there's nothing that's gonna sharpen the other.
Yeah.
So I guess I can go on. But please, last, procrastination, envy, the root of money, your friends. Oh, guys,
So
you guys
much.
can help me think. Honestly,
So
there's
much.
so many of them.
So much. Yo.
Tash, I'd actually like also for you to have a goal when it comes to this thing, because it's not just a guy's purpose that gets deterred by these things, it's purpose. It's a
Yeah.
Christian's purpose that gets deterred.
Mm.
While we move there quickly, guys, Miles Monroe, here's a quote. The quote is very simple. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Yeah.
The abuse is social. The abuse is societal. And it's where you live, unfortunately. When he talks about lust and the root of money, guys, we have demonized money.
Mm.
Sure.
We have demonized money as this tool that leads us to destruction. Money is tied to a lot of things, but our love for it is the root cause of the problem. You sit now in a church where, beautiful church, amazing, amazing auditorium.
Mm.
Like, our Father's done well in here.
Yeah.
People that are coming into this place are some of the most skilled individuals, and the compilation of people in this house, now and future, is a skilled and a vastly, skillful and nurtured group of people, where it just takes conversations for us to sit down and find out how we can all monetize our skills, get this, for the kingdom of God,
Yeah.
for the house of God.
Sure.
You've got an economist, a lawyer,
No.
a political scientist, a marketing and communication specialist, and you can go all around the room. You've got engineers in here, you've got people who are entrepreneurs in here, you've got lecturers in here, you've got doctors in here, you've got dentists in this house. Like, from a network perspective, my dentist is a longtime friend of my mom who goes to the church. Dr. Maponya, shout out, doctor. I don't understand what this thing is that we have with money.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as we as people, especially the generation coming up, as soon as we address the relationship that we choose to have with money, the better it is going to be, not for us, but for the house of God.
Sure.
One. Last, hey. Yeah. Samson. Lust, guys, goes both ways, and lust is dangerous because it's a small seed when it starts. If you want proof that planting a seed grows, yalap.
Yeah.
Hamba lapho. Leyo ifuna izoyithola le. And it's weird because it starts with a like on Instagram. I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later down the line, years later, you're stuck in a cycle that you don't understand where it stems from. You don't understand what's going on. And lust messes up your relationship with God,
Yeah.
your relationship with people,
Yeah.
and then by extension, your relationship with the opposite gender.
Yeah.
Shey.
Yeah.
Now you relate to people differently. You sexualize everything you see.
Yeah.
You sexualize everyone you see. And then you think because you walked into church doors, your mind's going to switch off for 2.5 hours and you're going to be normal again. No.
No.
So what are you doing to God's people then? See, now you're at fault for a bigger crime.
Yeah.
But yes, Tash, please, I need you to run with this as well.
We are definitely going there. We are going there. Last.
Yeah.
But anyway, coming from a family environment where conversations around marriage, courtship, and intentional relationships are actively taught and modeled, how has that shaped your understanding? I actually want to know, how has that, shaped your understanding of love, commitment, and responsibility as man? Because there's a difference between being interested in a relationship and being prepared for one. So, in your view, what does it truly mean for a man to be ready for marriage, spiritually, emotionally, and practically? I think I need one of you to answer this, then we continue.
Yeah, go on.
We just touched on the love of money, and then we touched on lust and the negative effects or the effects that lust has. Guys, what saved me from lust is watching the relationship of my parents. What saved me is the marriage of my parents.
Sure.
Because with lust came, oh, girls aren't loyal, guys aren't loyal.
Yeah.
Then came the away tours. And then came the lifestyle on these away tours. Oh no, I've got grown-up teammates who are cheating on their partners. Some of them, like not everyone, guys. Some of them who may go out and may go do something with someone's daughter and we're on a way tour so they'll never know. All of a sudden, through lust, that's the road that I've gone down. But I've been able to reflect back to a sober, Christ-centered relationship between opposite sexes or opposite genders
Sure.
that has helped me
Yeah.
realize that there is this side to it. So I'm not going to lie to you. The way that I perceive relationships
Yeah.
is solely centered on the marriage of my parents.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that because I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. The older you grow up, you realize these things.
Yeah.
But the one thing that it is it is functional for God's purpose.
Sure.
And that's one thing that my mother and my father have overemphasized. They have made sure that, you know, sometimes when you practice things, so
Yeah.
in practice, you over-exaggerate movements.
Yeah.
If you're taking free kicks at training,
Yeah.
take them, but don't just take them to score. Make sure
Yeah.
that you're aiming for the corner.
Sure.
You overemphasize
Exactly.
the practice and the principles so that mastery is closer to you.
Yeah.
They've been inspirational in saving my perspective on marriages,
Yeah.
in saving my perspective on the relationship I have with the opposite gender.
Sure.
Guys, and there are women who can attest to this.
Mm.
There are people that can attest to how I am able to relate to them differently now.
Yeah.
I never ever believed that it's possible to have platonic friendships
Yeah.
between guys and girls.
Mm.
For a long time I believed it was impossible.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I think back now to who I am, and I think 4 years ago you were a fool.
Yeah.
You were stupid. Because honestly, if
Yeah.
I see you, it's either I want something from you
Mm.
or I steer clear of you because I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
What do you mean I can't have a relationship where we empower each other? You're a legal expert. What do you mean I can't come to you for legal advice
Mm.
on an issue that I'm facing in life without thinking about ulterior motives or weird things? Like, I would have deprived myself of so much
So much.
as a young man,
Yeah.
which is dangerous, guys.
Eish. Yeah.
But I think it's finding and modeling. We spoke about idolatry. Don't idolize, but find and model your perspective
Yeah.
of opposite gender relationships.
Sure.
Find it somewhere
Yeah.
and run with that moniker as long as you can.
Sure. Yeah. No.
That was powerful.
Yeah.
So, next question. I don't know who's taking this one. For me, I believe initiation reflects intention. If a man knows what he wants, it will show in how he approaches, not in confusion or mixed signals. So, from your understanding, what does proper initiation look like from a man? And when a man doesn't initiate, is it lack of confidence or lack of interest?
Okay. Should I? Okay. So initiate, you mean initiate the conversation with the. Okay. Okay. Cool. So I think. So also, is it a lack of confidence or a lack of interest if I don't
Yes.
initiate? Yeah. No, that's an interesting question, eh? Because it can be obviously at times maybe a lack of confidence. Maybe yeah, it is, you see. So yes, I think it could be obviously that aspect. Maybe, you know, yes, I really like this girl. I just don't know how to go about approaching her. You know, that could be a reason. Then obviously, that is something I feel like as with time, it should be clarified. Also with the girl, where the girl actually, like you can tell as time goes on, I don't know. But this person, by now, he should have at least said something. So also now, I wanted to know he's not interested. So I think that's when you can conclude that, no, he's not interested. But with initiating, okay, no, let me just end it there before I want you to further elaborate. So before I go into depth and I end up digressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe I'd ever approach a man and
Yeah.
tell him,
Okay. Yeah.
God said you are going to be my husband.
Sure.
You know, but because I believe God speaks and He confirms,
Yeah.
and there should be alignment, not pressure.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
If a woman comes to you, Mbuso, and says, "God revealed that you are my husband," how, how do you receive that as a man? Does it feel like boldness, or does it feel like pressure? And would you take her seriously, or does it affect how you see her?
That's such an interesting. You see why I didn't want to go further, because I wanted to see where you're
Yeah.
going with this. That's why it's so yeah. That's an interesting question. So obviously the Bible says he who finds a wife. Yabo, so you would expect that the guy would be the one who goes and finds the woman. Yabo. But at times, as I said, so I'm gonna go back to my point. Maybe umchitu nekwababa. So maybe the girl just maybe throws in her hands. It's different. But now it becomes another thing if you're now telling me, it like, dude, God said.
Hey.
Yeah, but but that's another thing now. Like, because I feel at times as Christians, you know, and I think with our generation, we are slowly also
Sure.
starting to correct that, with obviously the counsel of those who have gone ahead of us, maybe our parents or even some of our mentors, where they're like, no, dude, you know, don't over spiritualize these things sometimes. Yabo, umuntu muhle uzishayile ngaye. Yabo, go talk out yabo. Khuluma naye. Yabo, so speak to her, tell her, no, my sister, you know, and obviously. And this is obviously some from advice I've gotten also from, you know, my mentors and stuff. The safest way to initiate a relationship is to befriend the person. So don't go in there full steams ahead. You're promising her everything now. Meanwhile, you're not yet sure. Yeah. You see, because you know the thing is, Jets, and maybe you guys can also contribute to this. The last thing you want to do is to, you know, maybe in the heat of a moment, make promises that you can't fulfill. I think that's my thing. Yeah, because how I view the female, even though, you know, I like you, but at the end of the day, I see you as a child of God. Ubaba kunkulunkulu. Like, take a second to lo muntu makakupayisa ukupayisa kuNkulunkulu uNkulunkulu bhe ingane yakho. Yeah, so for me, that's the mindset I have. I'm not just dealing with a girl. I'm dealing with God's daughter. Yeah, so being responsible in how I interact with you, for me, is something that I value a lot, Chabo, because I think also maybe in my past experiences, I haven't handled those things quite well. Yeah, but obviously with counsel, you learn, good to know. And if you can, there's ways that you can go about it to ensure that even if maybe I Vikren, you don't come out there. Yeah, you don't lose, you know, now. So I think, you know, obviously, I'm I understand what sometimes so it's really confirmation, there's no need for you. But yeah, that's different. But if you see you're still trying to suss out what's going on, just befriend the girl, bro. Then time will reveal. But if you know as a gent, because one thing I'll also say, and this is my closing point, the nice thing about umchito is that umchito mekazi, anyaka sayishintsha ingqondo yakhe. No. Umchita, when he knows what no, he's settled. Like he say child, he's focused. But it becomes different if obviously the guy still wants to get to know you. Then you must afford him that space where he befriends you and you allow the process to take place. But if as a gent, you know, no, you've clearly heard God done that. Now, corner, you don't go there and tell the guy, God said, because now there's also an element of what's so you're manipulating, you're forced. So give the girl obviously a chance. Obviously, you asked what when I was shy, like you've confirmed. But give her a chance, also her to say yes. I'm forced. My second pressure. You could say, I'm sharing, I'm sharing. Second, when you say, so also we must be fair as a machita. You know, buy a flower, move out a shop. Umzalwane, umchito, uNkulunkulu mara, intombi yakho we treat grand. So that's my 2 cents on that. Yeah.
Powerful. So, Nati, I believe this is yours. It's more similar to Mbuso's question. We are living in a generation where roles are shifting. Women are more expressive, more direct, and sometimes even leading the conversation. We say it everywhere, even on shows like we are July 99 and You Promised to Marry Me, where women are now the ones confronting, pursuing, or even proposing. And I'll be honest, I'm a strong woman, But I personally don't believe in approaching a man romantically. As you said, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So I believe in being seen, not chasing. So from your perspective as a man, how do you honestly feel about women approaching you first? Does it come across as confidence, as you spoke about confidence, or does it take away from something? And what would you actually prefer?
That is a lucky save. The question could have gone elsewhere. Ooh. Okay, but let me make the first point. Where the question could have gone, but I think this needs to be clear, guys. The man's job is to lead in society, in everywhere. Your job is to lead, all right? Your job is to provide a safe space for someone else to submit under you. That's just where the question could have gone.
Sure.
But to answer your yes, clocked me. So to answer your actual question, I think I prioritize the more important things, right? Guys, the one thing I can't emphasize enough on, and that's why I've never been one to say, especially in the generation we live in, no, talking stage must be 2 days or whatever. This person that you're speaking to is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Exactly.
The objective is not to be happy with a certain individual. The objective is to find the right person for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, I think we have minimum, and that's why I'm very much about. If you listen to me the whole time, I try to be very direct about what I say, and in that is also I'm trying to be very direct about the fact that who approaches who, guys. If I'm trying to have kids with you, and I'm trying to marry you, and I'm trying to, if I didn't do it,
Sure.
and you did it, and me and you align and we speak, does the deal breaker then become the fact that you spoke to me first?
Surely not.
The deal breaker between me and you having a family, and I say this, the right woman will unlock endless possibilities for any man.
Yeah.
Does the deal breaker in that situation have to be the fact that I didn't approach her?
Exactly.
That's the deal breaker for the rest of your life. We're given 70 years on this earth.
Imagine.
When if you're 25, this is that day, one day out of 365 impacted what could have happened for the next
Yeah.
couple of decades. I don't think so. However, what do I prefer? I do prefer to be the one to approach.
Sure.
Because I just mentioned leading.
Yeah.
So I do prefer to be the one to approach, but like I said, I hate putting emphasis on the things I feel like don't matter.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what matters is, do me and you align religiously?
Yeah.
Do me and you have the same ambitions? Do
Yeah.
we want kids together? Where do we want to live? What do we want to do for a living?
Yeah.
How are we gonna raise our kids? Are we a dual how are we doing this? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna miss out on, as the Bible says, a good thing when you find a wife. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna miss out on that
Yeah.
because she just felt confident and
Yeah.
spoke to me. In a way, I love confidence.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna now turn you back because you felt confident. That tells me something about you. So to answer, to conclude all of this, no, I don't think who approaches who is a big enough factor for me
Yeah.
to overlook the overriding factors, because we have a lifetime together.
Sure.
I've got the opportunity to propose to you. I've got
Yes.
the opportunity to still court you. I've got the opportunity to propose to you, to renew our vows and etc. There's so much I still have to do to you, do for you. So who approaches who, guys? I think those are just minimal conversations we
Yeah.
shouldn't be having.
I like that, Nat. I like
Yeah.
that because other times umchita angafeel under pressure. No, mara uyongisheli manje seyitshayile. No, I can't child. As I said, abanye amajita ngitane kwababa. So they need a little boost. When she shows interest, then obviously you take initiative. But what we are saying, and I think my brothers agree with me, especially Nati Chatornit as well, that we must lead. Don't allow the girl to be the one that pursues you the whole relationship. She
Yeah.
can initiate by showing interest. But as umchita, like dude, Bonisa now good to know, man. I am willing. Then lead it from there on. Whether or not who initiated, I agree with my brothers. I said it depends on what type of guy you are also. Mangamechita bahluphi right next. Bayasikhulumela yabo. Abanye amachita they are very shy yabo. Yabo liyashelela yabo. So yeah, no, I like how Nati brought balance to that. I like
just,
that.
just to add on, then I'm done. So,
Yeah.
this is for you guys now in particular. The one thing that will, or for us, is very important. Reciprocation is a little bit of effort. If I'm pursuing you, please do not make it feel like a drag.
Okay.
What I mean by that is a one-way show. When I write 5, 6, 7 paragraphs, if you're interested, of course, be very clear, guys. Be very clear. Don't waste each other's time. If you are interested, don't play games. Spadala, there's a lot we still need to figure out. Like I mentioned, there's so many other conversations we need to have for me and you to be wasting time on whether you want to text, how are you, and then I text you good, and then you want to end the conversation there, and be clear about who you want. If you don't want me, end it there. Don't waste each other's time. And reciprocation is, for us, it's important. I'm not going to keep chasing you, because once I've got you, eventually there has to be a form of reciprocation. But yeah.
Nizwile, really hard to get. So I've been thinking about this deeply. This is where, you know, society puts heavy expectations on men to provide, to have money, stability, a car, a certain lifestyle. And the truth is, when a man doesn't have those things, he's often overlooked, even if he has character. So many young men are holding back from pursuing relationships because they feel, I'm not there yet. And I think that pressure is real. So from your perspective, do you believe a man must be financially established before entering a relationship? Or is it possible to build and grow with someone nowadays? And how do you deal with that pressure personally?
Fourth industrial revolution, where we are right now, it's an absolute lie. You have to be financially stable and set for you to get into a relationship. Now, Giagulunge boss, if you don't have Sheikh Dollar, now you're going to struggle to get into a relationship. Here's the spin though. If you need money to get into a relationship, is that your wife? Think about what I just said now. If I need money to get into a relationship with you, is that my wife? My brothers have touched on the importance of knowing your wife and aligning in vision, aligning in purpose, aligning in ideologies. They've spoken about all of those things. If I need to court you through my finances, or if the most attractive part about me is my financial standing in society, are you my wife? Because I firmly believe that my wife is going to be someone who is going to be there if I lose it all, because she knows for a fact that I'm able to get it back. And that's just on confidence. Unfortunately, the God that I serve didn't call me to suffer. He didn't do that. So do I believe in this era, do you need finances to date? Yes. Is that your wife? Question for another day.
No. I like that. Also, just to touch on that quickly, especially the second point, you know, because also I think the most important thing to also remember, and Nati touched on this, is that you don't want to find yourself asking maybe the questions that aren't as important. But finance obviously is one of those important questions, if you're being honest. Because you have to ask, like, where are you going to slay? What are you going to eat? Those are all financial related questions. Flowers. You see, but obviously, as Neo said, I should not need money for me to affirm that you are my wife. Sometimes, because what you can find is that, especially if you're like me, I want to get married young. You see, I want to be married young so that I can grow with my partner.
Sure.
You're not going to find me having millions, bro. I'm not going to have millions. Will I have something? Yes, I'll have something. But the goal is to build together. So I think the most important thing as a guy that you should obviously know is that you don't have to have it all together. But just have something that you guys can start off with. And see where you guys can meet each other. Because don't forget, it's a relationship. It's not one person. You guys can come together and that can be a temporal situation until also years maybe you get your things sorted out. Because the last thing you want as a guy is to find your wife, then you put off getting married to her because you're waiting for the perfect time. So counting. Athatha umuntu ase-outak. When I saw selo khamisini. So don't like put yourself under immense pressure as a guy. I've seen guys get married without nothing. So if it's a question of marriage, God is able to do that. He's able to finance your marriage and everything in miraculous ways. So don't allow that obviously to be a thing that like deters you from getting married. But as a guy, obviously, we have an obligation as a man to ensure that you are able to provide, to protect for your family, and those are all financial things. So yes, maybe at the moment, maybe I'm not mine, but I think also the guys then we don't condone that you remain there as umchito. Ensure that obviously now we are patanis when plan now corner as in grand, because it does put a strain on the lady if she's the one that's leading. Yeah, yeah.
Well, like 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. I just want to say one thing. 30 seconds. One of the most important things with the question you just asked now, your job as a guy, and to blend what he was saying as well, my job as your boyfriend, when I'm still courting you, before Shata, is to prove to you, and this is probably a little pointer for you guys as well, my job is to prove to you in the dating phase that I can provide for our relationship. Because when we are married, what happens? Two become. So I am providing for a relationship even when we're married. So providing for a relationship isn't me sponsoring Natasha's lifestyle. This is me making sure that me and Natasha, when we go on a date, we have the means to get there. It's not me having it all figured out. This is me saying that I am providing for the fact that always look at you dating as a way to kind of practice marriage. It's an audition for marriage. So that's why I said I just need a little bit, but my job as your boyfriend, my job as your partner, my job as the person you're trying to build a life with but haven't married yet. We haven't become one yet, but my job, to put it into this context that we have of what do you bring to the table? The table is the relationship. I must make sure the table's full. Sure.
Interesting. I feel like there's so much that we can talk about. We might need to have a part two.
Yeah.
There's too many things we're leaving out. We don't want people to, but we, you see, now we need to have a part two so that we can make sure we cover these things clearly. But yeah, go on.
I'm going to be very honest here with ladies. I think sometimes we say we want character, but we respond to the lifestyle. So girls, level up. But second question, here's the question.
Yeah, that's cool.
At the same time, the expectations on women are also intense. She must look good, be disciplined, be educated, carry herself well, have good eating habits, be able to cook, almost like she must be perfectly packaged. Because you know the saying of this is, she's packed, you know? So, and I've noticed that nowadays, education is becoming a standard. Like if a woman doesn't have a degree, it becomes a problem. So from your perspective, what are realistic expectations for a woman? And what are unfair pressures placed on them? And do you think men sometimes expect perfection while still becoming themselves?
You see, I agree with him about needing a part two, guys. I get straight. But to answer your question, part one, alignment is very important, right? Before I speak about the woman itself, guys, we don't all want the same thing. There are people who want housewives. There are people who want housewives for a specific reason, right? There are people who want 50-50 relationships. There are people that want, we all want things differently. We want a relationship where both parents are working. So your expectation or your value as a woman is, in terms of the marriage now, is what you and your partner align on. Have your own set of beliefs and own set of standards, which is, guys, we're going to talk some standards, another conversation, but it's fine. To answer your question, what is a realistic expectation of women? Respect, loyalty, trust, communication. All important. I don't think we don't know what respect, trust, loyalty, and all those other things are. The biggest thing is, and this is from the chat I was having yesterday that I can always take, is that trust is important because can I trust you with my secrets? Can I trust you with my baggage? So these are personal characteristics now. Then again, I think you guys have noticed I'm very practical. From a practical standpoint, education is important as a human being.
Sure.
I think the best way you can base yourself as a woman is try have everything that a man can have. If you can, try have your own car, try have your own place, try have your own degree, try have your own job. Especially in a world where there are laws that empower women, particularly black women, We're in a place where if me and you apply for the same job, just because you're good for my score and my triple BEs and my BEs, Natasha gets it. Me and you apply for the same job with the same qualifications, you're getting the job. So the world we're moving towards is almost a place where we need to adapt because scales are balancing. The best way I can put it is try mirror the man that you want in terms of what you expect him to have, and try meet those standards. Because then you'll understand, in a world where we all have equal opportunity, you'll understand really how hard it is to become that man. Yes, your man's supposed to be ahead of you in terms of age more often than not, but if you want a man with a degree, get a degree. If you want a man with a job, get a job. If you want a man with a car, get a car. If you want a man with a house, everybody with me now?
Get a house. Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
powerful. I actually got that. As a woman, you should be the master of your own habits, although mustang. So I've been observing something in church spaces. A lot of young people believe they're in courtship, when in reality it's just dating with Christian language. Because courtship is internal, it's guided, it's God-led, but many don't even inquire from God. You just assume because it's in church, then you think it's right. And personally, I think that's where a lot of confusion and heartbreaks begin. And so, as men, future leaders, future heads of homes, how do you define the difference between dating and courtship? And how do you advise young people who are dating in church, who believe they've found the one too early without proper direction?
Who's on?
Go, Tulega.
Oh, Maza, okay, cool. So I think the difference between dating and courtship, personally, I think it's purely intentionality.
Okay.
Dating, there could be some blurred lines. You are not sure, but I like you. Courtship, I'm sure, and I'm willing to go through the process to ensure that I see this through. Yeah, boss. So I think the for me the key the defining thing is the intentionality. Yeah, boss. If someone is in a courtship, firstly, parents are involved, leaders are involved, there is counseling involved. There are steps that are being taken to ensure that what we say we want to do, we are actually going to do it. Whereas with dating, there isn't also accountability, which is my fear around dating, especially if you're maybe still young, especially if maybe you're in high school. And it's like, I don't want to say maybe, anyen shade, but like at that age, yes. And you find yourself, that's when obviously now you find yourself falling into sin. Yeah, well, because you're putting yourself in a situation where the enemy can easily tempt you. Yeah, well, so I do believe that obviously with courting, it's a very intentional thing. Yeah, well, where now you involve the necessary parties, and you don't hide. Dating, there's also an element of being secretive. Yeah, well, which should also already tell you already with with courtship, you've introduced each other to your families. Yeah, well, you're seeking counsel. Here at church, it's within our policy. If you're going to court, you need to go through premarital counseling. There are people who have gone through the journey who are going to hold you accountable and who are going to train you to ensure that you have the best marriage as possible. Whereas with dating, with dating, it's very secretive. Like, like if some people, your parents don't know, and like, for me, like dating, it's a very dangerous way to go about relating with an individual you like, because you can easily open doors that the enemy can take advantage of. So that's why it goes back to what I said in the beginning. Kala, be friends. Be friends. That thing you're dating, then courtship. No, be friends, then go into courtship. Because that friendship part of it, it shows you the individual. Then you're able to make an informed decision after being a friend with that person. No, friendship, and I'm willing to pursue something serious with her. Then now date or experiment to put in then you're so whereas you could have seen with this person is not the one just by being friends. So for me, that's my personal belief with regards to dating. I don't necessarily demonize it, but I think like it has to be done under supervision. Don't date without having anyone holding you accountable. Your friends, your leaders, your mentors, your parents. If those people aren't, you can't be honest about with them, then it should tell you that no, yeah, you're not sure. So if you're not sure, just be friends to avoid inking. That's how I believe. That's what I think with regards to the difference between dating and courtship. Yeah.
I get that dating is more of a test driving.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's led by emotions. So I've seen this conversation all over social media, and honestly, it's confusing and funny at the same time, because it's like when it comes to Christian women, suddenly men don't know how to act. Do you approach her normally, or do you switch and become over spiritually? Because it's no longer, hey, you look beautiful. It's greetings, daughter of Zion, I've been led, And I'm speaking for myself as well. I believe Christian women are still normal. We laugh, we talk, we are human, but at the same time, we are disciplined.
Yeah.
There are standards, there are boundaries, there are things we simply don't entertain. So here's my question: how do you approach a Christian woman the right way? Do you come correct, direct, and real, or do you feel pressure to sound spiritual, to be taken seriously?
Yeah.
And be honest. Have you ever felt like you needed to perform spiritually just to approach a woman at church?
Yo, okay, I think Neva's gonna take this. You have to take this.
Exactly.
But I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for me, what I think, like, and this is a personal belief, guys, disclaimer, but I feel cheater who's going to come with you nge-angle spirituality is a red flag.
Yeah.
No. Also, like, as a he's shaking. The house says that. For me, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Manipulation.
Yeah, because there's a bit of manipulation. I feel like if you are attracted to a girl, approach her properly. Jaya, no, swam. Yeah, yeah, because I feel like that thing is not right. And what I don't like with that thing is that it portrays Christian gents badly. Yeah, but I'm a cheetah that are Christian now, they're portrayed badly. That's why some girls they say, yo, I'm a cheetah Christian, they're even worse than the guys outside. Because of his interest. So cheetah, he comes and he's the worst of them all. So rather when you approach a girl, approach the girl. Not yeah, but if God has said something, sure. But she doesn't need to know that at the moment, though. Because you don't know her. So look what's now fair to this girl hasn't met you, and I saw some God said, that's not fair, dog. Like, that's not on. Approach her how you'd approach any other lady, bro. Be nice, speak to her, get to know her, introduce yourself properly. Then obviously obviously if obviously you'll find a way to obviously say your intentions eventually. But I don't think that's something you should do like, first time. No. But I think they we'll tackle this one more in depth.
Through growing and through aging and through maturation, I quickly start to realize that this process of finessing or ukshela is a process that is driven by your principles and how principled you are. If you are principled, you don't have to worry about your approach.
Yeah.
If you're a principled Christian and godly man, you don't have to worry about the manner of approach because it is already in tune and aligned with who you are. And who you are is in line and in tune with who's formed you.
Yeah.
So you're sorted there. I believe, like Natsi says a lot, it's be very straightforward about your stuff, be very straightforward about your business. And I believe there's no need for you to lie about your intentions or for you to falsify your intent. Emntwaneni wabantu. Ulimaza ingane yabantu.
Unnecessarily.
And ulimaza ingane yabantu, worse, you limaza the body of Christ.
Yeah.
Because the next interaction that young girl has with a guy from church, who could be her husband, is there's a word trending to our performative Christians and whatnot. Like, somebody did that. And up until we are accountable for that as Christian men in the church. Because performative Christians, that phrase, is Christian women who say that.
You see.
Rightfully so, because they've come into contact with performative Christians, performative Christian men. Up until we take accountability for that as Christian men, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Two, it's as simply as it can be put, it's down to principle. And when I say it's down to principle, I mean your approach should not change because you're speaking to a girl what's a son doing. Because in any way, your conduct should be the same to any woman out
Exactly.
there.
Exactly my point. Yeah. Should we go and approach ngendlela better if you can't use it in the house? Yeah, that's exactly what I know. It mustn't change. Approach it. Don't now bring overly spiritual things if you wouldn't do that outside. Maintain consistent. Approach it properly. Ukhulume naye kahle. Ungazi now you are. That's not right. It's not right.
Just quickly, another thing, and I'm going to take 15 seconds to say this. We talk about your principles and them routing the way that you go about your business. My brother, you just said that means ngaphandle siyaganga.
Yeah.
The reason skanga ngaphandle is because the element of reverence and fear has been taken out of society.
Yeah.
We go outside of the church now and we start to conform to what's going on out there.
Yeah.
And there's no shame as a Christian. Shame is very big.
Eish.
That thing is very big. Shame is big not because it takes you home and depresses you and puts you in a corner. It's because it acts as a moral compass
Yeah.
for you to know what you can and cannot do.
Sure. Yeah.
Guys, there's nothing that hurts me more than ontanga bam, ontanga betu in the street, babamba makot drinking in the street.
Yeah.
Because that means you're not just drinking. That means you are drinking in public for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Umama umuntu uzophuma ejaridini athi unisela ingadi yakhe yakubona. My brother, to that mother, that's forever who you are.
Yeah.
And it's because perception says, "Anginandaba ukuthi umuntu uthini." Guys, that's the biggest lie on planet. I need to come close to say this. That right there is a lie. People perception matters. Because those people are the people that are going to be presiding over aspects in your life that you need to work. How you portray yourself in front of a CEO 10 years from now, that's the CEO that's got to employ you. I don't care what your CV looks like. Personal touch comes into the fore.
Yeah.
And the perception that you have left them with
Yeah.
is what they are going to remember.
Yeah.
The perception that I have of this young cat over here is that one, he is God-fearing as hell, but he's also dedicated to his craft. And the one thing that I will tell you is, from our younger days, I always knew he loved football. Till this day, whether he stops playing soccer or not, I can engage football conversation with him because it's the perception he's passed on to me.
Exactly.
Guys, that thing matters.
Yeah.
Be afraid of people's eyes. Be afraid of people's eyes. Like, bring it back, Angan.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Be afraid of people's eyes. I got it, but like, yeah, no. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Eyes because you're representing God.
Yeah,
Can you
dude.
tell controversial?
Yeah. Exactly. I like that. That's so important for guys because yo. Outside, you can't we're showing one thing outside, then inside we're showing another thing, and it's because of what he's saying. Yabo, asaba mehlo wabantu ngaphandle.
Bring back shame.
Little do we know, Guti, those people that are seeing us out there, they are seeing the God we are representing. Yabo. So I think it's because we think we only represent Christ in the church, not outside. That's why we think outside we can live anyhow. Yabo. Yabo. So in short, guys, that no. You represent Christ well outside, amen.
Yeah, amen. That was so powerful. That was powerful. So Nati touched on respect and alignment, and he said those are non-negotiable. Without those, no connection can truly last. So let me ask you directly, Nati, what is one thing you would never tolerate in a woman? And what is one thing a woman should never tolerate in a man?
One.
One.
We are wrapping up.
Let me think of what the worst of the lot. No, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. There's one principle that should never, ever change. It's very simple. See that one that Aretha Franklin sang about? Respect. Because respect governs how you do everything. I'm a big believer in the fact that a lot of times people do as far as going outside of their marriages because they have a lack of respect for their partner. One, you don't respect their image, and two, you don't respect them. So what that means is, where's my boy Kaya? Sorry. And she'll still be here. And it's the smaller things. Respect to a man is extremely important. It's love to a woman. But respect from a man is the most powerful thing you can ever get. When a man respects you, when a man doesn't fear you, isn't intimidated by you, isn't trying to push you down, when your man respects you, that's the highest form of love any man can give you. And it's the highest form of love any man can receive. Respect.
I know. I agree with Nati. Respect also for me is it's that's sikala lapho. That's
not
where
just manners as well.
yeah, it's
Respect is actions. Respect
yeah,
is,
your
it
respect
goes
is the
down-
big thing.
Respect's what I post, what I like.
Mm.
Respect is everything.
And I think this goes for both ways. I think like for a girl, if your person doesn't respect you, then dude, it's a precursor of what you're gonna be experiencing down the line. As a guy, if a guy doesn't respect you, you know what to expect down the line.
He doesn't respect himself.
And you see, so for me, I think I like that. Obviously, it goes without saying we are Christian men, so our faith is obviously first. Yeah, but directly after that, like respect. Respect is so important, guys. Like yo.
Can I just put this out there?
Mm.
5 things you should never miss. Faith is the first one.
Definitely.
When you look for a partner, faith, communication, trust, loyalty, and the last one, respect.
Yeah, respect.
Respect.
Mm.
Yeah, respect. It's a respect. It's respect. It's key.
No.
So, okay, let's
It's a general one. That one, no.
respect.
Kunzima
So-
ukuhlala nomuntu odelela,
It's-
but it's
So I heard, I don't know if it's you or it's you who mentioned a red flag, and you led me to this question. I think discernment is key here. Not everything is a red flag. Some things are just areas where a person is growing, but at the same time, not everything deserves patience either. So how do you personally differentiate between a red flag you walk away from and a flaw someone is genuinely working on?
Consistency. Patterns. Guys, people will show you. And I think that's why I mentioned earlier, when Gusto said part 2, I laughed it off, but guys, there's so many other conversations we can have, and one of them that I need, particularly the women of our society, guys, standards. I think there's a lot of women I've seen on my TikTok who are realizing that men have standards. Athina sidlalthini. Da sidlalthini. Ngiyabona guy. Yeah, sidlalthini. Tina, may I leave you, me. As a man, I will leave you. So standards are black and white, and this is again, when I use the word black and white, he's in his heart he probably lit up because he knows what I mean. In a world that is black and white, Adam and Eve were 2 genders. Yes and no. No, I'm not going that direction, but I'm saying Adam and Eve is black and white. What color is your Bible? Black and white. The words are in black, pages are white.
Right, okay, sure.
Everything in life is black and white.
I hear you.
Standards are black and white. If a man cheats, I leave. That's a standard. Right? Obviously, yes, there are mitigating factors. There shouldn't be mitigating factors. Ngiyabonga mkhuzeni. If he if he hits me, please, I need to look at you. If he hits you, leave. These are standards. So, whatever your standards are, in terms of the question you asked me, whatever your standards are, don't negotiate. Don't negotiate with your standards. Be Hitler. Don't negotiate. Leave. Your standards are your standards. They're black and white. Have them written down. You
Yeah.
know what you want.
Yeah.
In the same way you're ambitious on paper, in the same way you have to study to pass, your standards are black and white. As jiggy, there's no gray areas. There's no he did it bad. Black and white. Know what you want, and that's it. Obviously, discuss it. Tell your partner, listen, this is what I want to tolerate from you. So that when he does it, guy, tickets.
In addition to that, I think there's something that we seem to have breezed over when he said it. My actions while we are dating are a precursor for what's going to happen when we are married. I'm not going to change. Because what I'm showing you when I want you to be mine is what you're going to get when you are mine. Right or wrong? I have it in the locker. If I stop taking you out on dates when we are married, I have it in the locker. I just don't see fit to do it anymore. That's a respect thing. That's just not vocalizing your standards as a woman. When I stop doing things that you appreciate and it's not spoken about and I'm not made aware of it. Because in this busy life, guys, mind slip, things happen. Like, happens.
Yeah.
But there's a consistency of pattern that determines my respect for you.
Yeah.
I can say I respect you out of my mouth, but the consistency of the patterns that I portray are the real answer to the question as to whether I respect you or not. What I do now is a precursor for what I am able to do when we are married. When we get into there, the choice to do it or not is going to tell you where I stand with you.
Yeah. So I like that. So I hope your question is answered. Between a red flag and a flow, it's all in the consistency. All in the consistency.
Well answered.
All in the consistency.
We were actually supposed to close, but I have another question. I've been asking myself this. Everyone says, I'm not ready, or be ready first. But no one really defines what ready means. So from your perspective, what does it actually mean for a man to be ready for a relationship or marriage? And how do you know you are ready?
Simple. My God tells me.
Okay, powerful.
Yep.
I think my answer to this will be, again, what he said is very important. My God tells me. But again, if I look at practical things that you need to be ready for, guys, ungangeni with your own demons. Sort your traumas out. Fix yourself. Your baggages, your traumas. I always say in a relationship, in a marriage, there's an 80-20 rule I think we've all kind of heard in life. The 80 is not what you need to worry about. It's that 20. That 20% could be he's a loving man 80% of the time, but he's abusive 20% of the time. He's a loving man 80% of the time, but he's a cheater the other 20% of the time. He's a loving man 80% of the time, but he's emotionally unavailable 20% of the time. So sort yourself out. Sort yourself, your esteem sorted out.
Yeah.
Esteem sorted out. Your confidence sorted out. Your flaws, you as a person know your flaws. Sorted out. Try be the best man possible. In closing, and this is the last point I'll make, was a mic drop moment actually. Christ calls us to be like him. He was perfect. Try be Christ-like.
Yeah.
So that means you're constantly chasing perfection. You'll never be perfect. So that means for the rest of your life, you're chasing something.
Yeah. I like that. I like
Powerful.
that. No, I think the gents have covered it really well. God tells you, I've worked on myself. That is what essentially means you're ready. Yeah, you need to being intentional going into it. Don't freestyle going into marriage. Ensure you go through the process that ensures you're able to do it correctly. Yeah.
So we have come to the end of our conversation. Natino, thank you so much for being with us. But before we close, just a few words to Empowered Voices. Shout out to Empowered Voices right there. You can just say something to Empowered Voices.
So Empowered Voices, keep doing what you're doing. Love what you're doing. This is different. This is special. This is new. This is empowered. This is evolving. Keeping up with the times. This is going to grow into what you want it to be. Keep pushing. Don't forget, confidence is king.
Roses to the people behind the screens, behind the camera, and the people in front of it. Guys, my only prayer for you is for you guys to see the potential in what you are doing to service God. May you guys never lose the touch that you guys could have on young people. I said could have deliberately because where you guys go with this now is completely up to the two of you. But how the two of you relate to each other is going to determine how you are able to relate to the young people who need this.
Sure.
This platform that you guys have opened up here, all I can say is, guys, I am extremely proud of the both of you for what you guys have done. And we converse a lot about a hell of a lot of other things. But in this one here, I'm just hoping and praying that you guys allow God to take the wheel.
Thank you so much.
Change lives.
Now, Nati, we honor you. We appreciate you. But thank you for sharing not just your journey, but your truth.
Yeah.
And to every young man watching, may this not just inspire you, but challenge you to reflect, to grow, and to align. This has been Empowered Voices where voices rise, truth speaks, and Papo's is Awakened. I'm Natasha. Stay tuned for more. Stay blessed.
Sure.